Hey everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to create a home inspection report in Eneris, starting from account creation through to sharing the report. We'll start here in the account creation wizard, which is where you'll land after signing in. Let's go ahead and click Get Started, and then enter our name in the text box before clicking Next. The next step is to choose a template for you to do your inspections on. These templates were created based on various association SOPs, and we also have an Eneris template here for you to choose from. Once you've selected your template, click on the Next button, but since I've already have my template set up, I'm going to click Skip for this particular step. Then it's a short survey to tailor your experience in Eneris. Fill out these questions and then click Next. And that's it. Now we can head into the dashboard and view our inspections. Once we've completed the onboarding, let's go ahead and create our first inspection. Click on Create New Inspection. And from here, I'll go ahead and search a random address, and things will start populating in the list. Let's just click on the first one here. And as I scroll down, I can verify the inspection time and date. And then we'll click Create Inspection. Once the inspection is created, I can verify the address and the time, and I can see that there's a residential property inspection form here, and we'll be spending most of our time here a little later, but before I head into there, I'd like to fill out the contacts and the invoice cards. For the contacts card, let's click on Add New, and we can decide what type of contact we want to associate with this inspection. For today, I'll just add one buyer. And as you can see here, I can enter in their information from scratch, or if I've done business with them in the past, I might have their contacts information already saved. So let's go ahead and click on Dawn. She will be my buyer client. And if I want to, I can go ahead and add an additional contact. Let's go ahead and add the buyer's realtor. And again, I've done business with Ron in the past, so I'll go ahead and click his existing contact card. Now I have contacts for both Dawn and Ron. As I scroll down, I see a section where I can generate an invoice. So let's go ahead and add a pricing item here. And once I click this button, I'll see previously created pricing items that I can choose from. Let's go ahead and click Single Family Home, which I charge $500 for. And let's say there is a pool in the backyard of this home, and I'll do a custom invoice item because I'd like to do a pool inspection and charge $100 for it, and I'll enter in that same tax rate here. So now I have my subtotal and my tax, and I have my total. And as I scroll down, let's pretend that this client has prepaid. So I'd like to mark my invoice as paid and kind of log some details about that payment. So let's say they paid with cash, they paid on 24th, and perhaps I enter in some kind of a specific memo that I want to show up on the invoice. So let's say paid in full by cash prior to inspection. And I'll create this invoice. All right, now I see the invoice has been created. I have my invoice number, my total, stamp that says it's been paid. And if I click this button, I can get a quick peek at what this invoice looks like. So it's got my business name, my business info, who this is billed to, date of service and date of issue, the address, the line items, and a little stamp here that says it was paid, and my memo. This can be downloaded as a separate PDF or as part of the full PDF when the report is complete. Now that we've completed adding in the contact info and the invoice info, let's go ahead and navigate into the residential property inspection form. In Eneris, all the inspection categories are customizable, and this is what I have based on the Eneris template that I'm using in this inspection. Before we actually begin to input any of the information, I do want to confirm that I have sent the service agreement to my client and that they've signed. So let's scroll down to the service agreement card, and let's click Add Signer. And based on the 2 contacts that I've added, I only want my buyer to sign the service agreement. So I'll select them. I will then publish the service agreement, which means it's ready for Don's signature. And once that's done, I can see that it is pending 1 signature. Depending on your inspection, you might want to send this service agreement to Don so that they can sign it prior to you arriving on site. Otherwise, if you want them to sign on your mobile device in person on site, you can click on Sign Agreement. They can feel free to read the service agreement that you've created as part of your template. And at the very bottom, they can sign their name, either using their finger on your mobile device, or they can just generate a signature and hit Submit. Once they've done that, the service agreement card will reflect that all the signatures have been completed and that Don has signed. Now that the service agreement has been completed, let's begin filling in some of this inspection form information. First thing is I want to add a primary photo, which is the front-facing photo of the home that will show up on the title page of my report. So I'll click on that and I'll add my primary photo. And if you're on site and doing this on a mobile device, of course, the user interface of Eneris is very similar on iOS or Android phones or tablets, and you'll be able to take your photo there as well. And after I've added the front-facing photo, let's actually go into some of these inspection categories and start filling in the information. For example, let's go into exterior. And from there, I'll see a number of components within the exterior category that I should inspect as part of this template. And I know that I have to inspect them because there is a number on the left-hand side. And this number indicates that there are some required fields within that I need to fill out as part of my standards of practice or as part of my association's standards of practice. I can just kind of navigate through these items and tap on Inspected. I can add photos. So let's do exterior wall covering photos, for example. I can drag and drop the photos as well. I can add multiple photos. I can even edit the photos and kind of annotate them as I go. So that was my last use selection, a red circle, but I could easily change it to freehand shapes and a different color and kind of draw whatever I need to draw on this photo. If I click save, that annotation will be saved to the photo so that my client can see exactly what I am referencing. As I scroll down, I see that there are additional fields. I can expand the description field, and as part of the template, I have a number of commonly used descriptions for exterior wall coverings that I can choose from. So I can select some that are there. I can add a custom description item and add that into the report. So that's what it looks like when it's selected. I can even save more time by adding favorited options. So for example, for conditions, I might want to take a look at all of the options I have available in my template, but really, let's say I only use mildew, mortared, stained, and rotted are my go-to answers for that item. So the next time when I am in exterior wall coverings and I navigate down to conditions, I automatically have my favorited options that I can easily tap. And if those are not enough, I can expand the full list and get everything that I can see here. As I make my way down, you'll notice that there are different types of fields. The recommended action, I can select one of these, and a nested field will come up such that I can add additional information to my recommendation. Let's just fill out some of these additional items so that it looks nice and clean when I generate the final report later so you can see it. So far, a lot of the inputs I've been providing are shorter form words or phrases, but if I want to add longer form narrative context, I can click on the additional notes option, and I can see some provided out-of-the-box templated answers I can choose from. So let's say I can click on faded vinyl siding, and if there are a lot of options, I can actually begin to type certain words into my libraries to search for them. So let's say I search for the word professional, which shows up here in the last option. It will actually kind of automatically filter to text comments that have that word, or I can also provide a net new sentence in the report if one doesn't already exist in your template. And finally, we have a summary label, which I can mark this item as one of these, or I can further customize them to have different options. So for now, I'll just choose major issues. As I scroll back up and I take a look at exterior wall coverings, I can see that it's been marked as inspected. The IN stands for inspected. And there's a flag on here because I added a summary label of major issue. But let's say there are some of these items that I just want to kind of go through them quickly, kind of a checklist style. So I don't even need to expand the card to see everything. I can just tap on these cards or these buttons on the right-hand side. So green for inspected. If I tap it again, it flips to NA for not applicable, and again for not inspected. Right, so I could go through each of these and tap them to say that they're inspected. If there's additional notes I want to add to them, I'll expand the card and add whichever options I need. But those are two different ways to enter in information into an Eneris report. I could always click on my progress bar to see how many items in each of the categories that I've finished inspecting per my template. And it looks like as a whole, I have 79 items to complete. And so far, I've only completed 5 of them. This is a super handy tool to ensure you don't miss anything on site and you capture all the information you need for your inspection report. I could also click on the search button, and this can take me to other components that I want to inspect. So let's say I type in cooling. I'll see that I have in the HVAC category a cooling component that I can inspect. And if I click that, it will automatically navigate me from exterior to HVAC and expand the cooling system component. And here we'll start to see that there are custom fields that I can add for every component. Right? For exterior wall coverings, I did not have the cooling energy source, system type, and system brand as field options because really these are specific to the cooling system. Everything that I've shown so far is the tried and true traditional method of entering your insights into your inspection report. And we do have a very exciting development through the use of artificial intelligence technology, which we're naming Eneris AI, that will help inspectors generate first drafts of their report so that you can approve, decline, or edit suggestions so that you save time with your report writing. But for the purpose of today's video, I won't be covering that. If you're interested in learning more, feel free to reach out and we're happy to walk you through it. Let's fast forward a bit and assume that I've gone through the entire inspection and I filled out every component in my template. The next thing that I might want to do before sending this to my client is to quickly preview what the PDF report would look like. And I can easily do that by clicking the preview button and selecting whether or not I want to see the full report or a quick summary. And for today, I'll just click on the report. Once we click it, it will generate a preview of the report on your device. And as we can see here, it is a PDF with the preview watermark kind of in the back. So here's the title page. I've got a photo of the property, who it's prepared for, the address, my business details. As I go into page 2, there's a table of contents, and it's looking a little sparse right now only because I only filled in a couple things with you here on the spot. But imagine there's 8 different categories for all the other items that you've inspected. We have our invoice, a list of actionable findings, which summarizes the key recommended actions you've indicated in your report so that your clients can quickly tap on a page number and jump to those items. And then we have the bulk of the report, which we filled in together. So here we have the exterior category, the exterior wall component, all the notes that we entered in together, along any photos and videos that I've attached. Each of the fields are separated by a nice gray box so that the readability is improved for your clients. And if it goes onto another page or it spills onto another page, we'll repeat that component name and continue on with any additional notes or other items that may not have made it to the first page that it showed up. As we get to the bottom of the report, we'll also attach the service agreement. And if I scroll down to the next page, we'll see my client's signature and my own signature. And at the very bottom, if you choose to add it, it will also show your standards of practice. Now that I've previewed my report and everything looks good, I'll head back into Eneris and navigate into the general page, where I'll scroll down and publish my report. Publishing my report generates the final version of my PDF report and gets it ready so that I can send it to my client. Once it's done, I can click on the report, take one final peek if I want to, just to show you that the preview watermark is gone and the rest of the report is exactly the same. And from there, I can click on the share button to email the report out to whoever needs a copy. So I might only want to send it to Dawn, or I could send it to the realtor as well. I could change the email subject, and I can also update the email message as well. And then I can click send, which will send it to whoever I decide, as well as CC myself so I have a copy. That wraps up your first look into Eneris. If you're interested in giving it a try, head on over to eneris.ca and get started by creating a free account. If you have any questions, feel free to take a look at our product documentation, email our support team, or give us a call. Thanks and see you next time.